Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. This is Mike, and this is Mike Dell's World. Yeah, I say this every time, but this episode number is 404, which is also a euphemism for not found. Well, obviously, I haven't been found since May 29th as far as this podcast goes. Of course, I've done quite a few episodes of Podcast Insider. But, I think the theme of this show is missing because, 404, that just means not found. Well, also could mean missing. So, of course, my dad passed away in December, and over the summer I felt him being missing because I'm doing a lot of the things that he used to do around the house there, and plus, I'm doing things I need to do around my house. Plus, I'm still working on flight training. So it's, just a lot of time has been missing. And of course, people, the dad being missing and all that. And then a week ago, Monday, so almost 2 weeks ago, we had a shocker at work. Todd Cochrane, my co-host on Podcast Insider, and prolific podcaster and the CEO of my company here, Blubrry, passed away unexpectedly on his way home from visiting his kids out in Washington State. So that sort of threw the company into a turmoil for the last couple of weeks, and we're doing okay. We've sort of figured out what we got to do to go, to move forward, and Blubrry's not going away. Hence, you're getting this podcast because of Blubrry. But, that's been really hard. And, it's like, I get into a meeting or something and I want to make a snide comment. I don't have my buddy to do that with anymore. That's what we would usually do, is we'd have what we call back channel during Zoom meetings and whatnot. And, just 3 weeks ago, or maybe more than that now, but at Podcast Movement in Dallas, of course, we worked the booth together, Todd and I. And then, we both spoke there and all that stuff. But on the off hours, we were out hunting bourbon and eating barbecue in Texas, and, just having a good old time and holding court, the bar at the hotel, all the normal conference stuff. And, it's just hard to believe that, poof, you're gone. It was totally unexpected. He was 61 and had a transient blood clot or something. I don't know the whole story. One of the cool things, though, is I was able to go down to his homestead there in Quincy, Michigan, and help his mom a little bit. And, Sherry's still around, doing well. And also his sons. His son, Chris, his youngest son, is going to attempt to take over Geek News Central, Todd's main show. He wants to get it to at least episode 2000. So I went down there and helped him fire up the studio and figure out how everything works, and got him set up with equipment he can take back to Hawaii to do the thing. So, hopefully he's got one episode out. I haven't seen whether he put out the second one. He said he was recording one, but again, with all the turmoil. And then we went back down for the funeral, or I did. And there was a lot of podcast luminaries there. Rob Greenlee, Rob Walsh from Libsyn, Dave Jackson, Daniel Lewis. About half of the Blubrry team was there. Some of them are way across country and whatnot. But and Marlo Anderson came from North Dakota, the Tech Ranch guy, and the guy that does the National Day calendar. There you go. And by the way, today's Cheeseburger Day, just in case you're wondering. By the way, this is being recorded on Friday, the 19th of September, 2025. That celebration of life or funeral or whatever was really good. And of course, I've known the family for as long as I've known Todd, pretty much. And they're not too far away. It was about a 4-hour drive each time I went down there, and I'll probably go back down there at some point and help Sherry with some stuff, but we'll see. And I participated in the final new media show, which Todd would normally co-host with Rob Greenlee. And we had Rob Greenlee, of course, Rob Walsh from Lipson, Adam Curry from MTV and Podcasting 2.0 and the Daily Source Code, and kind of the co-inventor of podcasting, or the podfather, as we call it. So, it was good. We had some, funny stories and good stories and all that stuff. So if you want to go check that out, go to newmediashow.com, and that'll be posted there for a long time, I'm sure. Rob's not sure whether he's going to continue that show or not. It could happen, and maybe not. We don't know. But anyway, so yeah, that's been the latest shocker. But, going all the way back to December, I think I did, a couple of shows in May. One of them was stupid, the last one, 403. But because I played with AI weather forecasting and whatnot. But the one before that, I explained what was going on and all that. And all winter long, having to, blow snow and haul a tractor around and blow snow and haul a tractor around. And just never got... Well, I figured it would let up after the snow, but, and it's not, anything to do with my mom. It's just things to do with everything and everybody. My time has not been my own as far as any free time. So we'll call that 404 on my free time. So hence, I haven't really sat down to podcast. I should just carve out time, but, this is a show. I flip the mic on whenever I think I want to, and yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging around. But it's one of those things. But so this summer it just flew by. We're already feeling the fall cold a little bit here and there. It hasn't been cold the last few days, but let's see. Just give you a big overview of all the stuff. Campers. We went camping, and I've had to haul the campers, both campers, Dad's camper for Mom and my sister and whatever, and then I got to go back and haul my camper, and we went camping a couple times, and then my mom loans out her camper to her friends, which I really think is cool, and I have no problem doing it, but I have to pull the camper because I inherited Dad's truck, and that's the one that pulls the camper, so I had to deliver the camper out to one of the campgrounds for these friends of hers, and he does home dialysis, so he can't really camp in a tent, and this camper really works out for him, and they're doing great. And then I did it again this fall, late summer, and that was kind of a problem because at some point during the year, my I don't know how he's a relative-ish, sort of, kind of, but my cousin's grandfather and my aunt's father was 97 years old, and he passed away, and my mom was the executor. And so I did a lot of hauling stuff around for the estate, because they sold the house, and I'd get some of the stuff that they didn't sell out of the house. And of course, my mom bought a kitchen table, which was really nice, antique wooden kitchen table. It was really nice. And, of course, I hauled that. And, again, it was just a lot of, as I call it. Plus, I'm still trying to get my flight training finished. I took the check ride about a month ago and screwed up a couple of maneuvers, so I have to go do a recheck. So I've been training with my instructor on the items that I missed. I've got till October 15th to finish that, but shouldn't be too much of a problem, barring weather and airplane delays and whatnot. But so that's still going along swimmingly, except for, like I said, I botched a few maneuvers. I did a short field landing. You got to land on a spot on the runway, and you can't land anything before the spot, and you have to land within 100 feet for this particular check ride of the spot, beyond it, because, you're simulating you're landing on a really short runway. And I hit the spot perfectly. But I did it from 5 feet up, and that's not acceptable. It was a rather rough landing, and and a couple other little maneuvers I have to re-show in the examiner, but that shouldn't be a problem. I've flown a few times since then, and I think I got everything dialed in. We're gonna do one more next week, and then after that, the following week, I'll take the recheck or the check ride, finish the check ride, and hopefully that'll be that, and I'll have the rating. So it's all good. Let's see what else has been going on. Of course, there's always visitors. We're in a tourist area, so we have friends and family that show up, and of course, you got to kind of entertain them. And we had a garage sale that took up a lot of time and took a really long time to get rid of. So I had to move some stuff out of the driveway and all that. Also, when I was hauling that camper, or not the camper, the kitchen table that Mom bought, I jackknifed the trailer into the side of the truck and put a nice big dent in the side of the truck, which sucked. So I had to get that into the body shop. So anyway, I put it in the body shop when we went to Texas for the conference, and it was supposed to be done. But just before that, I had to haul a camper out just after that, I had to haul the camper out to another place for these friends of my mom's. And of course, my truck was still in the shop longer than it should have been. So I ended up hauling it out with a borrowed truck. And that was a little stressful because I didn't know the truck very well. And it's a 36-foot camper, and the truck's just a half-ton, the one that I borrowed. And, it was a little squirrely, but we got it out there, got it parked for him, got it set up. And then, I figured I'd get my truck back, and I did, except for when I went to go get my truck, it quit running. This is a relatively new truck with low miles. And so I had it towed over to the dealership, and the dealership was supposed to get it done on a Friday. And I was supposed to go pick up the camper on Saturday. Well, my truck wasn't done on Friday. And then on Monday, it wasn't done. And on Tuesday, it wasn't done. That was over Labor Day weekend. Of course, it wouldn't be done on Monday. But anyway, by Wednesday, I finally got it back. But I had to use that borrowed truck both directions for this camper pull, and that was an adventure for sure. But anyway, got the truck back, dent's gone, the fuel pump went out, that's what was wrong with it, and come to find out it was still under warranty, and it was a known issue with that truck. I have a 2020 Tundra with, I guess now 46,000 miles, because I put 1,000 miles on it this week back and forth to Quincy. 2 trips. So, but, it's low miles for a 5-year-old truck. And, I love the truck. It was Dad's last truck. And, it's got all the bells and whistles, and it's a, heavy duty truck. So I can pull the big campers, and I think I'll pull stumps, I guess. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, nice vehicle. And I'll probably have that as long as it'll have me. Although, I kind of worry about the electronics, but they're getting better, and Toyotas are always pretty good. At least, in fact, that's all we have left is Toyotas. I've got my old 99 Corolla with a stick shift, and Kathy's got a Highlander SUV. So we're all Toyota family at the moment, but I think I might sell that Corolla or whatever and get a fun car. I'm thinking maybe a Miata or a Porsche Boxster or an Audi TT convertible, something I'd only drive in the summer anyway. But we'll see. Don't know if I need that headache. Maybe I'll just save my money and buy an airplane. That's kind of come up in my list too. Maybe build one. But toys. But yeah, with Todd missing from work, that's been, like I said, a hardship. Dad missing as well. That's I wouldn't call it a hardship. I mean, I guess it is the order of things, but it's kind of hard to, I don't have my buddy to call, either Todd or my dad. I have other friends, obviously, but we always had the stuff, especially with flying. My dad was an instructor and an air taxi pilot and a few other things in the aviation world. And, it was always cool to chat with him about flying and airplanes and whatnot. We'd get into those conversations. And I got my uncle, Dad's brother. He was also all of those things, instructor and an air taxi pilot. And, he had an airplane. And so, get to talk to him, but not nearly as much. So anyway, I'm sorry I've been missing, but that's what's been going on in my world. Trying to think of anything else of interest that's happened since May. We've had kind of a weird summer. It's been, really hot and dry at times, and then we get dumped on with water and with rain. And they say this winter is supposed to be an El Nino winter, which usually means we get dumped on some more. So, but I think I'm going to handle the snow removal a little differently. I'm going to leave the tractor out at the farm and take care of that as soon as I can, because Mom needs to get in and out, whatever. And then only bring the tractor into town to do mine on the weekend. Say on Saturday, I'll go out there, get the tractor, bring it in, plow here, and in the meantime, I'll just use the walk behind blower to clean out the driveway enough to get in and out. And I think that'll be a lot less stressful than hauling that the tractor every time. So that's the story. I think I'll go back to that method rather than every time, and that'll give me a little more time. And tomorrow, usually on Saturdays, I do some aviation stuff. We go over to the hangar and do some hangar talk with the EAA group, or I go flying, or whatever. Saturday mornings I usually have something going on, and I just decided, no, the last couple of weeks have been stressful. So tomorrow morning I'm going to attempt to sleep in, which means I'll probably get up at 5. That's all right. I'm going to sit in my easy chair and drink coffee and surf the web on my iPad, or read a book, or watch some YouTube, whatever, and then got some chores to do. We have, I think I told you, I live in a log cabin, in a real log cabin, and we had a rotten log. The face of it was rotten. The structure is okay, but it just was getting rotten. So I cleaned it out, cleaned out all the rotten wood and filled it full of that great stuff foam, and then put some reinforced heavy duty boards to hold the top log to the I guess what do you call it, the foundation, because it was the bottom log, and reinforce that, and then put a flat board over it. And I'm going to be painting that. And I'm also going to be working on my studio /office /shed /man cave out here in the backyard. I'm going to paint the back wall. Right now it's kind of a brick orange color, and it just doesn't look good on camera. So I'm going to paint it the same off-white I've got the rest of the walls. So tomorrow afternoon we'll be painting. And I got to paint the door. Our back door gets all scratched up from the dog or dogs. We have dogs here sometimes, extra dogs, and they always like to scratch on the back door, and the back door is real wood. So I'll throw a coat of paint on that too while I'm at it. But hopefully I'll get a day off, and I'm going to make it more of an effort to at least update this one more often. I can't guarantee it, and I've said it 1,000 times. 404 times probably. But I hope not to be missing as much as I have been. So again, thanks for staying subscribed. And if you just ran across this, I was much more prolific in the first couple hundred episodes than I have been since. But just my fun little podcast. Of course, Podcast Insider's sort of on hiatus right now. Mackenzie and I are going to carry that show on, and we may bring on another team member. We kind of round robin that when Todd was doing it. And ironically, we have Todd's last recorded podcast episode, and it was Podcast Insider with Mackenzie. We're trying to decide whether we're going to put that out or not. We probably will, but we'll probably edit in some announcement or whatever. And then our editor, Kate, is working on a best of reel for Todd. So we'll probably put that episode out before we resume the normal episodes over there. So be sure to check out podcastinsider.com. If you're interested, it's all about podcasting and what's going on at Blubrry and Raw Voice and, the greater podcasting world. So anyway, I will cut this off and everybody have a good, however long it is till I'm back. Again, like I said, I've been rather missing, and, this episode number is actually apropos 404. I was going to do a comedy bit with the 404 thing, and of course that was before all the events of the last couple of months. So anyway, everybody have a good one. Catch me later.